spending all that time in Hollywood, did you see it in the sets? Did you hear about these crazy?
No.
What about the parties? Did you hear about like demonic type parties?
Never that I mean, I was in the thick of it, but I was in the, I feel like there's layers, you know, I feel like I was in a layer that most people don't get to experience. And I was always smart enough. Like I said, I can always go home.
Yeah.
I could always come back and be happy with my family. And, you know, I feel like I was always strong-minded enough to know, maybe people just didn't put me in that situation because I'm going to call them out.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's, like I said, I was kind of doing a lot of stuff with more of like the Johnny Depps and the Paris Hiltons and people. And, you know, when I see Britney Spears now versus then, like I knew Britney when Britney was Britney. Yeah. And that's not the same person I see. No. Like it's like whatever has happened is, you know, not the same people. Yeah. So, I mean, she was like at the top of the world and hanging out at, you know, when, you know, and also we're hanging out in surface level places and
sure.
We're not going deep into like their lives. I mean, we're just enjoying what's going on.
Sure.
But when I see like her then versus now, I'm like, that's not who I knew.
Right. Yeah. It was sad, you know, kind of watching her. But there are like the sleazebag producers, directors, you know, like the Weinsteins and stuff out there.
Yeah. We definitely sued him twice on the Rum Diary.
Really?
So, I mean, as far as like him being a piece of shit, I mean, that was always the case and he didn't hide that. But we were not, you know, I went to some Netflix parties and things like that where they were on like the, you know, the step and repeat, but never spent time with him as far as.
And you sued him for the Rum Diaries? Why did you sue him?
I wasn't even involved in that part, but it just would have been like contractual stuff, like probably like money.
I see. What about Kevin Spacey? Did you ever have any run-ins with Spacey?
Yeah.
That guy's a sleazeball.
Yeah. I only met him on an elevator and he was going to Netflix and our office was next to Netflix. And I just like looked at him and I was like, Mr. President? And he just broke. I mean, I broke him on the elevator.
That's funny.
And that was the entire conversation. Yeah. And then maybe like a month later, I saw him on the elevator again and he was looking at me and he was just like, I go, Mr. President?
Yeah, there we go.
But that was our only interaction.
No, I mean, before all that stuff came out about him, you know, the sexual assault, he tried to do that to one of my friends. It's a guy. Yeah. And attacked him at a party. And he said, yeah, he was there and he was at Kevin Spacey's house and he's hanging out and he's a musician. And kind of everybody was leaving and his phone wouldn't let him call an Uber because he's on, you know, so I think he's in Malibu or something. Man,
I remember those hills days were tough and calling anything.
Yeah. And so he got stuck there basically. And Kevin had said, "Oh, come outside." And he was inside with the girl, but everybody's starting to leave, and the girl was leaving. And so he goes outside, and Spacey's in a jacuzzi with a bunch of other dudes all naked. And he's like, you know, he's not gay. My buddy's not gay. Mm-hmm. So he couldn't call anybody. He's like stuck, you know, at this house in Malibu. And so he goes to a bedroom and to sleep, basically. And he says he wakes up and Spacey was on top of him trying to, you know, get on him. He had to literally push him off. Wow. And, you know, my buddy's not gay. Nothing wrong with being gay, but he's not.
Sexual assault is sexual assault.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, so yeah. And he had basically harassed my friend so much. My friend had blocked him. Wow. And so I knew about this. This was probably 2017 or so, 2016. Yeah. Before everything had come out. So, and my friend told me, yeah, there's other stories about him, blah, 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 blah. And so then when it did come out, I'm like, damn. Yeah. You know, I just saw him on an interview last week where he's, you know, crying, I've lost everything. But dude,
you're an actor.
Yeah, you're an actor.
You're acting.
That's right. So,
yeah. That's where we're like, we'll never work with anybody that we feel is not kind of living our life and kind of doing how we want to do things. Yeah. You know, that's kind of why we're here. I mean, we can run our own studio, run our own destiny. You know, if we fuck up, it's on us. You know, we want to do big movies and you know, obviously when you're on set, I mean, you know, we want to work with our friends that we're going to be on set with for 15, 20 hours a day, and we love every second of it. Like, we're not going to work with these pieces of shit.